Hey, welcome back YouTube. We're gonna be reading the Bible. And we're gonna read Mark chapter 8. That says Jesus feeds the 4,000. It ends with the way of the cross. So we're gonna enjoy ourselves in reading the Bible today. Jesus feeds the 4,000. During those days, another large crowd gathered. Since they had nothing to eat, Jesus called his disciples to him and said, I have compassion for those people. They have already been with me 3 days and have nothing to eat. If I send them home hungry, then they will collapse on the way because some of them have come a long distance. His disciples, but where in the remote place can anyone get enough bread to feed them? How many loaves do you have? 7, they replied. He told the crowd to sit down on the ground. When they had taken the 7 loaves and given them thanks, he broke them and gave them to the disciples to distribute to the people, and they did so. They had a few small fish as well. He gave thanks to them and told the disciples to dispute them. The people ate and were satisfied. Afterward, the disciples picked up the 7 baskets of broken pieces that were still left over. About 4,000 were present. After he had spent them away, he got into the boat with his disciples and went to the region of Dalmathia. The Pharisees came and began to question Jesus to test him. They asked him for a sign from heaven. He sighed deeply and said, Why does this generation ask for a sign? Truly, I tell you, no sign will be given to it. Then they left them and got back in the boat and crossed to the other side. Guys, I'll be right back. I'm gonna change locations real quick. Hey guys, I'm back. Sorry, there's not much light in here for right now, but we'll get past that and still read the Bible. The yeast of the Pharisees and Herod. The disciples had forgotten to bring bread except for the loaf they had with them on the boat. Be careful, Jesus warned them. Watch out for the yeast of the Pharisees and that of Herod. They discussed this with one another and said, It is because we have no bread. And aware of the decision, Jesus asked them, Why are you talking about having no bread? Do you still not see it or understand? Are your hearts hardened? Do you have your eyes but fail to see and your ears fail to hear? And do you not remember when I broke the 5 loaves and the 5,000? How many baskets of pieces did you pick up? 12. And when I broke the 7 loaves for the 4,000, how many baskets did you pick up? 7. Do you still not understand? Jesus heals a blind man at Bethesda. They came to Bethesda. And some people brought a blind man to beg Jesus to touch him. He took the blind man. He took the blind man by the hand and led them outside the village. When he had split on the man's eyes and put the hands on him, Jesus said, Do you see anything? He looked and said, I see people. They look like trees walking around. Once more, Jesus put his hands on the man's eyes. The man's eyes were open. His sight was restored, and he saw everything clearly. Jesus sent him home, saying, Don't even go into the village. Peter declares that Jesus is the Messiah. Jesus and his disciples went to the village around Castiera Philippi. On the way, he asked them, Why do people say I am? They replied, Some say John the Baptist, others say Elijah, and others one of the prophets. But what about you? Who do you say I am? He answered, You are the Messiah. Jesus warned them not to tell anyone about him. Jesus predicts his death.
He began to teach them what the Son of Man must suffer many things and be rejected by elders of the chief priests and the teachers of the law, and that they must be killed and after 3 days rise again. He spoke plainly about this, and Peter took him alongside and began to rebuke him. And when Jesus turned and looked at his disciples, he rebuked Peter. "Get behind me, Stephen," he said. "You do not have in mind the concerns of God, but merely human concerns." The way of the cross. And then he called to the crowd along with his disciples and said, "Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross and follow me. For whoever wants to save their life will lose it, but whoever loses their life for me and the gospel will save it. What good is it for someone to gain the whole world yet forfeit their soul? What can anyone give in exchange for their soul? If anyone is ashamed to be in my words, in his adulteries and sinful generation, the Son of Man will be ashamed of them when he comes in his Father glory with the holy angels." And he said to them, "Truly I tell you, some who are standing here will not taste death before they see the kingdom of God has come with power." Whoa, that was a good one. That was a really good one. Well, thank you guys for watching the video, and see you tomorrow, I guess.